Shalom, shalom. Welcome to the closing Sabbath class for Sons of Isaac, Israelite congregation. I'm Captain Officer Yakor. This is my elder, Chaarash. I'm going to do a simple breakdown of Leviticus 18. It's pretty simple. That's basically the unlawfulness of unlawful sexual acts, basically. So a little bit of the history dealing with Leviticus. It's about 10 weeks after Israel was delivered from Egypt. The Israelites arrived at Mount Sinai. So let's go to Exodus 19:1 to give you clarification on that.
Exodus chapter 19 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
In the third month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai.
So we see right here, this is talking about when they came out of the land of Egypt. And we're going to break down the whole thing with Leviticus after that. So the Most High declared his law and gave Moses the instructions for building the tabernacle dealing with this. So Moses set up the tabernacle on the first day of the first month of the second year of Israel's liberation. So let's go to Exodus 40 and 17 to get clarification on that.
Exodus chapter 40, verse 17.
Yeah.
And it came to pass in the first month, in the second year, on the first day of the month, that the tabernacle was reared up.
So we see here, it's talking about the tabernacle getting set up. So again, that was on the first day of the first month of the second year of Israel's liberation. So the book of Numbers opens up with a sense of being taken of the first day of the second month of the second year. So let's go to Numbers 1 and 1.
Numbers chapter 1, verse 1.
Go ahead.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai, in the tabernacle of the congregation on the first day of the second month, in the second year after they were come out of the land of Egypt.
So it says on the first day of the second month, in the second year, they will come out of the land of Egypt. So this is showing us what's being recorded in Leviticus, which covers about a month. So with the tabernacle ready, the Most High gave his instructions. So we're going to deal with Leviticus 18 today. So we can start at Leviticus 18:1. Don't read yet.
Okay.
So Leviticus 18 deals with unlawful sexual relations. So Leviticus 18 and 1 through 5, you can label that as the authority. Leviticus 18, 1 through 5 will be the authority. So the question to everybody here today is, why do you think the Most High gave us clear instructions concerning personal sexual hygiene, sexual morality, and marriage? Go ahead.
Not just idolatry, but unlawful sexual acts against incest when it came to parents, children, siblings.
Okay. Anybody else? Anything you want to add? Anybody? No? Good. So that too, and we are created in his image, and he knows what is best for his creations. So let's go to Genesis 1 and 27 real quick. Yes, sir.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 27.
Go ahead.
So Elohim created man in his own image.
He did what?
So Elohim created man in his own image. In the image of Elohim created he him. Male and female created he them.
So he created man in his own image. That's why we have these laws, statutes, and commandments to abide by. So understand this. Understand the Most High, he wants us to be married and to be able to enjoy the beautiful gift of sex. But he wants us to avoid the terrible consequences that come when the laws are violated. So let's go ahead. Let's start off with Leviticus 18:1.
Leviticus chapter 18, verse 1. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am Yahweh your power.
So we see here that it states, I am the Lord, so to speak. I am your power. So I did some further investigation. So from Leviticus 18 to 26, that is said 42 times. So that is showing us the authority for the standards that we must hold dealing with these scriptures. This is who I am, and this is the authority that I want you guys to keep. So let's go to verse 3.
Verse 3. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do.
So he's telling us what not to do while we're in the land of Egypt. Go ahead.
And after that, and after the doings of the land of Canaan, wherewith I bring you, shall ye not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinances.
So Leviticus 3 is basically telling us, do not do as they do in Egypt. Do not imitate the sins. Do not imitate the sins of the Gentiles of Canaan, where he was bringing the Israelites. Do not walk in their laws. So we know that Israel will have to maintain a position of separation in order to be pleasing to the Most High. And today we must maintain the same position. So let's go to 2 Corinthians 6 and 14.
2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 14.
Go ahead.
Be ye not unequally yoked.
So he's telling us, be ye not equally yoked. What does that mean? Anybody? Be ye not equally yoked. Go ahead.
Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers.
Go ahead.
For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness?
So that goes exactly to what you're saying. So how can we have righteousness if we dealing with the unrighteousness, right? Go ahead.
And what communion hath light with darkness?
What nation have light with darkness? Right? So let's go, let's skip on to 2 Corinthians 7 and 1.
2 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1. Having therefore these promises, dearly beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh and spirit, perfecting holiness in the fear of God.
So I always say, when you keep these commandments, that's because you fear the Most High. And you will keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. So right here, he's saying, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh and spirit. That is key. That's just like dealing with the worldly ways of what's going on. And that's how we breaking down this Leviticus 18. Because a lot of worldly things that are going on is throwing this Leviticus 18 out the window. You can also write down Ephesians 5, 1 through 14, and Colossians 3. Actually, let's go to Colossians 3 and 1 real quick.
Colossians chapter 3 and verse 1. If ye then be risen with Christ, seek those things which are above, where Christ sitteth on the right hand of Yah. Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth.
Set your affection on things above, not on the things of the earth, not of the worldly ways. Go ahead.
For ye are dead, and your life is hid with Christ in Yah.
Right.
When Christ,
Actually, excuse me, drop down to 5.
mortify therefore your members mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry.
So we see here fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection. All these things are idolatry. That's why we have to focus on keeping these laws, especially dealing with Leviticus 18. So let's go back to Leviticus again. Give me Leviticus 84.
8 and 4. Leviticus chapter.
18 and 4.
Okay. Leviticus chapter 18, verse 4. Ye shall do my judgments.
So he's telling us, ye shall do my judgments. Keep these laws, statutes, and judgments. Go ahead.
Ye shall do my judgments and keep mine ordinances to walk therein. I am Yahweh, your power.
And keep my ordinance to walk therein. So we have to keep these. Let's go to verse 5.
Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am Yahweh.
So by keeping the statutes and judgment, he shall live in them. That is the obedience to the commandments that brings life. So we're gonna connect this obviously with the New Testament, since a lot of people have issues with the New Testament. Let's go to Galatians 3 and 12.
Galatians chapter 3, verse 12.
Go ahead.
And the law is not of faith, but the man that doeth them shall live in them.
So we see here, he says, the man that doeth them shall live in them. So all this ties in together. Let's go to Romans 10 and 5. I'll give you another clarification.
Romans chapter 10, verse 5.
Go ahead.
For Moses describeth the righteousness which is of the law.
So he's describing the righteousness which is of the law. So he's telling them what's good about keeping this law. Go ahead.
That the man which doeth those things shall live by them.
There it is again. That the man which doeth those things shall live by them. We have to live by these statutes, laws, and commandments. It's telling you all throughout the scriptures. Let's give him one more. Let's go to Luke 10 and 26. We'll start.
Luke chapter 10, verse 26.
Now, this is just basically starting out with the breakdown. When we get into 28, that's what I want to get into. But go ahead.
He said unto him, what is written in the law? How readest thou?
What is written in the law? How readest thou? Go ahead.
Answering said, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thy mind, and and thy neighbor as thyself.
So he's telling us how we should love the Most High. He said, love with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself. Go ahead.
And he said unto him, thou hast answered right. This do, and thou shalt live.
Do this, and thou shalt live. You got to live by these statutes, laws, and commandments, right? So that's the authority dealing with Leviticus 18:1 and through 5. Now you can label this Leviticus 6 through 23. This will be the standards dealing with the scriptures.
Leviticus chapter 6.
Yeah, 18 and 6.
Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 6. None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him.
So we know approach is kind of like basically talking about uncovering their nakedness, which means to not have sexual relations with. So it's saying none of you shall approach to any that is near to kin. What does kin mean? Anybody? Family. So kin in the coordinates is H1319. And it's basically blood relations or flesh by extension. And now we broke it down further in the scripture, especially the flesh by extension. Let's go to 7, Leviticus 18 and 7.
Leviticus chapter 18, verse 7.
Go ahead.
The nakedness, I'm sorry, let me read 6. Finish it.
Oh, yeah.
None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am Yahweh. The nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother shalt thou not uncover. She is thy mother. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness.
This is dealing with incest, obviously. Thou shalt not have sex with his father. Thou shalt not have sex with his mother. That's uncovering their nakedness. That means to have sexual relations. So when you watch all these crazy shows and you see these moms that are married to the son, or, you know, the dad is having sex with the daughter, that is against all laws and regulations, especially dealing with Leviticus 18. Let's go. You can give him 8.
The nakedness of thy father's wife shalt thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness.
So we know that dealing with Leviticus 8, when a man and woman get married, they become what? They become one. Married. That means one flesh. That's why this is saying you will uncover his nakedness. You become one flesh. That's dealing with that. So it's saying the nakedness of thy father's wife thou shalt not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. That's because they are one, and obviously we know the man is head. So you are uncovering his nakedness. Let's go to Genesis 24 to get a little more. Genesis 2 and 24.
Chapter 2?
Yeah, Genesis 2 and 24.
Okay. Genesis chapter 2 and verse 24.
Go ahead.
Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
There it is right there. That's how we know that dealing with the father's wife is his nakedness, because they become one flesh. Let's get one more. Let's go to Ephesians 5 and 31. Same thing. I'm just connecting it with the Old Testament and the New Testament. That's all. Ephesians 5 and 31.
Ephesians chapter 5, verse 31.
Go ahead.
For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh.
And they two shall be one flesh. So again, dealing with Leviticus 18 and 8. If one has set, it's basically uncovering his father's nakedness, like I said. So let's go to Leviticus 18 and 9.
Leviticus chapter 18, verse 9. The nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father, or the daughter of thy mother, whether she be born at home or born abroad, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover.
You shall not be having sex with your sister. Whether it's your father's daughter or your mother's daughter, that is your sister. That is nasty. That is incest. That is a no-no. Same thing. Let's go to verse 10.
Verse 10. The nakedness of thy son's daughter, or or thy daughter's daughter, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover, for theirs is thine own nakedness.
So your son's daughter, which is your no, exactly. Your son's daughter, which is your granddaughter, or your daughter's daughter, same thing. That's your granddaughter. That is your nakedness because they stem from you. They come from your bloodline. That is uncovering your own nakedness. You do not do that. So obviously we see, you know, in Jay Springer, this stuff happens all the time. It happens all the time. Leviticus 18:11.
The nakedness of thy father's wife's daughter, begotten of thy father, she is thy sister. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness.
So this is dealing with, oh, that's my half sister. You know they say that? That's my half sister. We got the same dad, different moms. Still not what to have sex with. That's your sister.
And let me bring this out real quick. Yeah. So, of course, you know, you have those who believe that Abraham and Sarah, you know what I'm saying, they were literally brother and sister. You see what I'm saying? You know, like it says in Genesis, where Abraham had to create the little white lie, you know what I'm saying, to save, you know, himself and his wife, right? So he had ended up telling the king, he was like, you know, well, she is my sister. You know what I'm saying? We have the same, she said, we have the same father, but different mothers. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't, so basically, like, if one was to look at that in this context and be like, oh, well, they were brother and sister. Had to be, right? Well, no, it's not. It's talking about, man, they had the same ancestral father. All right. So basically, you know what I'm saying? If Eber would be considered like their ancestor, you know what I'm saying? So of course, then down the line, you know, that would make them of the same, you know, the same lineage. So basically, technically, as close as you can get, they would be cousins. All right, pretty much point blank, because we already know what the scripture said about cousins. We know as we read, as brothers breaking it down, what it's saying about Abraham would not go against the laws of the Most High, man, to marry his sister. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, sometimes you got to make make certain things in the common sense. All right, that was it. I'm sorry. One more thing. My bad. And there's other instances in the scriptures, man, where, you know, you have to, you know, you really have to be careful when you read. You know, sometimes you may have to read a different version of the text to be able to understand it properly. You know,
understand we are reading this in English,
and
absolutely. This has been changed numerous times through centuries, especially, you know, King James or what's another different Bible. Who?
Geneva's.
Yeah, there's multiple different businesses that put out Bibles. Some missing scriptures, some change words around, and you know.
And this is one example that I want to bring out of what my brother's saying, right? You know, yes, this is English, so you will have various like mistranslations contained in the English language, right? Or in this text. So now, real quick, give me the book of Exodus real quick. Exodus chapter 6 and verse 20. Yeah, Exodus chapter 6, verse 20.
Exodus 6 and 20.
Go ahead.
And Amram took him Jashib, his father's sister's wife, and she bare him Aaron and Moses.
So now check that out. It says that Amram took Jochebed, his father's sister, to wife. So when you're looking at that, what do you automatically think? Yeah, he took his auntie, right? But, right, that's where we go back to the translation issue sometimes. That, you know what I'm saying, that the King James Bible does have, you know, because it's in English. Now, if you go back to the Septuagint, right, the oldest form of the Hebrew text, right, or a text being translated, it will literally say that Amram took Jochebed, his father's, not his father's sister, but it'll say his father's brother's daughter. You see what I'm saying? I believe that's what it says. So basically, it was his father's brother's daughter, meaning that they were cousins. Yeah, they were technically cousins. You see what I'm saying? So they were still in the boundaries, in the realms of the law when they got married. So this wasn't his father, this wasn't his auntie that he took. So somebody that doesn't understand, they sit there and be like, oh, incest in the Bible, right there. Look at that. Y'all was born out of incest. No, not at all. It was a lawful marriage, but you're just looking at a translation error. That's it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I saw that. Leviticus 18 and 11.
Leviticus chapter 18, verse 11. The nakedness of thy father's wife's daughter, begotten of thy father, she is thy sister. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness.
So when your father gets married and has a daughter, that is still your sister. You should not be thinking about anything to do with her as far as any sexual relation. It is a sin according to Leviticus 18.
Absolutely.
Let's go to verse 12.
Verse 12.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's sister.
The father's sister, the auntie. Go ahead.
She is thy father's nearest kinswoman.
So that goes into that breakdown of kin, right? The extension of flesh. That's your auntie. You should not be thinking about having sex with her.
Verse 14, thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's brother.
13.
I'm sorry. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's mother's sister, for she is thy mother's nearest kinswoman.
So here we go again. It says the nakedness of thy mother's sister, which is your auntie. You should not be having sex with your auntie. And this is your mother's near kinswoman. Obviously, that's her extension of flesh. Let's go to 14.
Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's brother. Thou shalt not approach to his wife. She is thine aunt.
The father's brother's wife is your aunt. Like I said, this scripture, this Leviticus 18 is simple, cut, dry, but you have a lot of people these days that throw all this out. And it's dealing with idolatry, obviously.
That's just my stepsister. That's just my
Exactly.
aunt by marriage.
Right. Yeah, me personally, I don't like to deal with step this, step that. Like, once they are married, like, if I'm married to a woman and she has children, those are my children because me and her are one flesh. You get what I'm saying? So that means that is the extension of her. That's her close to kin. That's an extension of her flesh.
Absolutely.
So they become one with us. So now you have one whole body. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I've never liked it. Like, my youngest sister's dad, he never, it was always, this is my son wherever we went. It was never, this is my stepson, this is that. So that's what, got my mind like, all right, cool, and I do call him pops to this day, you know what I'm saying? So, but let's go to 18 and 15.
Leviticus chapter 18, verse 15. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy daughter-in-law. She is thy son's wife. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness.
We see this all the time on Jay Springer too. The mom is having sex with her son's daughter or the daughter's husband or whatever. This is all a no-no. A lot, believe it or not, Jay Springer, all the stuff that be going on that TV show, man, it's just all bad, man. And you can connect everything that they are doing wrong with these scriptures.
That's real.
Let's give them Leviticus 18 and 16.
Leviticus chapter 18, verse 16. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy brother's wife. It is thy brother's nakedness.
So we know once you get married, you become one. So your brother's wife, you do not have sex with her. They are one flesh. So dealing with this verse, that is called liberate. Levirate. That's LEVIRATE. V-I-R-A-T-E, marriage. So the word levar is the Latin word for husband's brother. It is not prohibited. So let's go to Deuteronomy 25, verse 5 through 10.
Deuteronomy chapter 25, verse 5. If brethren dwell together, and one of them die, and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her, and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of an husband's brother unto her.
So what do you say from that? You're supposed to carry on your bloodline, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to explain a little more?
Because basically, technically, remember, you and your brother, man, y'all have the same blood flowing through your veins. So remember, it'll never be like, oh, the thumb was never here. You see what I'm saying? But the only thing is that, you know, the child would not be his. It would be yours. You see what I'm saying? If you die, so that child would literally carry on your bloodline. You see, if something was, you know, if something was to happen, all right, you had a brother, whatnot, you know, then she would carry, you know, his seed, but it would be technically your line, to continue your line, not his. Okay.
So you can write the rest. You can finish reading that Deuteronomy 25. You can go 5 through 10. Or you can finish it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right,
So read it from the top.
So Deuteronomy 25 and 5.
Go ahead.
If the brethren dwell together, and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of a husband's brother unto her.
Now go ahead, read verse 6. Now this was the part that I was just explaining to you.
And it shall be that the firstborn which she bears shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead.
So the firstborn which they have shall succeed, all right, in the name of his brother which is dead. Okay, so he basically takes your place. All right, go ahead.
That his name be not put out of Israel.
So this was the purpose of this actual law, all right, so that man's name would not be put out of Israel, okay, because you did have certain instances where a man did not have a seed to carry on his legacy. You see what I'm saying? So remember, you know, when my son, when I die, he's going to carry on my bloodline, right? Now, if I had no son and I just had a daughter, well, remember she's going to carry somebody else's seed in her blood. She's going to continue somebody else's bloodline. You know what I mean? But mine is completely gone. So to prohibit that, the Lord said, this is the law which will, you know what I'm saying, which will prevent this. All right. So to go and marry any stranger or nothing like that, she had to marry her brother, all right, in law. Okay. But technically it wouldn't even be considered that no more, because of course the brother's dead. All right. Yes. Huh? They would be married. They would be married, as it says here. He said, like you said, read it again. Verse 5.
Deuteronomy 25 and 5. If brethren dwell together and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger.
Go ahead.
Her husband's brother shall go in unto her and take her to him to wife.
To what?
To wife.
To wife. So he would have to take you to a wife. So he just couldn't hit it and that's it. You see what I'm saying? He had to take care of you. An example of that, go to Genesis chapter 38 real quick. Genesis 38. And give me start at verse 5.
Genesis 38 and 5. And she yet again conceived and bare a son and called his name Shelah. And he was at Chizib when she bare him.
Go ahead.
And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord.
Go ahead.
And the Lord slew him. And Judah said unto Onan, go in unto thy brother's wife and marry her.
Right. So he told his brother to go in unto his dad's brother's wife.
And
all right.
Marry her.
To marry her. Okay. So he had to take on now the responsibilities of taking care of this woman. All right. And to raise up seed for his brother. All right. That was dead. Okay. But now check this out. Go ahead.
Same part.
Yeah. Keep going.
Verse 9. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his.
He said what?
And Onan knew that the seed shall not be his.
So he knew that the child wasn't going to be his. So the child wouldn't technically be his, as I explained, right? But it would be his brother's child at that point. So everything that his brother had, it wouldn't go to nobody else but that child. All right.
He goes disrespectful.
Absolutely. Go ahead, read on.
And it came to pass when he went in unto his brother's wife that he spilled it on the ground. Least that he should not give, least that he should give seed to his brother.
Right. So he hated his brother. And I'm gonna get it, but you know what? He said, the hell with my brother. I ain't raising up nothing for him.
Shot it on the ground.
Absolutely. So that's how, and watch what the Most High did. Watch this. This is how serious the Most High took this law.
Verse 10. And the thing which he did displeased the Most High. Wherefore he slew him also.
And he slew his behind also because that was a wicked act. All right. Because he did not run to raise up seed for his brother. He could have went through the process of what we're about to read back in Deuteronomy. You know what I'm saying? He would have just been basically a disgrace, for not wanting to raise up seed for his deceased brother. All right. But his father told him, go into your brother's wife. Right. So it's showing you that, yeah, he must have had a thing for his brother's wife. So he's going to do it. And he did what he did. He took her. He laid with her. He's like, but I ain't raising no seed for my brother. Cold game, man. And that's why the Most High said that was an evil thing in his sight. So then you'll see that Tamar, she had went on and she said, you know what? She was supposed to marry S.O.I.I.C, the youngest son. And then because Judah was dealing deceitfully with her and didn't give Selah unto her when he became a man of age, right, which was 20, she basically said, you know what? I'm gonna go to the head, to the main source. She said, I'm gonna go to the father. And you see that she like, all right, she bare twins by this man. Okay.
28. I got you. Deuteronomy 25 and 7.
Yeah, go ahead.
And if the man like not take his brother's wife, then
So if a man didn't want to do it, he had the option to do it or not to do it. So if he didn't want to do it, these are the steps he had to take. He didn't have to go into the woman and not raise up seed. You see what I'm saying? But this was the process which he would go through. Go ahead.
Then let his brother's wife go up to the gate unto the elders and say, my husband's brother refuseth to raise up unto his brother a name in Israel. He would not perform the duty of my husband's brother. Verse 8. Then the elders of his city shall call him and speak unto him. And if he stand to it, and say, I like not to take her.
Right. So then, she would go to the elders. That was the importance of us having a system where we had elders, right? To where we can go and seek these types of matters of judgment. Okay. So you see those ones who are individual, don't like camps, they full of crap because guess what? It's protocols that still have to be followed, man, even within our nation. So she went to the elders. The elders sat the man down. They talked to him, say, why you don't want to follow it? Then what happened? If he still stood in his heart that he didn't want to do it, what would happen?
Then shall his brother's wife come unto him in the presence of the elders, and lose his shoe from off his foot, and spit in his face, and shall answer and say, so shall it be done unto that man that would not build up his brother's house.
So then the brother will come to the presence of the wife. She loosened his shoe. She spit in his face. Why? Because that's a disgrace that you don't want to raise up seed for your brother. You see what I'm saying? That's a huge dishonor upon that man and his legacy. So then of course he would have to walk around Israel as the man who did not want to raise up seed for his brother, and his shoe being unlaced, that would let everybody know, like, that man didn't want to raise up seed for his brother.
Yeah, that's verse 10. And it says, verse 10, and his name shall be called in Israel, the house of him that have his shoe loosed.
So everybody knew automatically he did not want to raise up seed for his brother whatsoever. All right. Well,
And remember where Leviticus 18 and 16 prohibited only was the illicit relations between brother-in-law and sister-in-law once the who they're married to have died and passed on. Makes sense? So the brother-in-law and the sister-in-law. So the sister-in-law to her husband when he dies, and then the brother-in-law to his I'm confused too now. But the wife,
If the wife dies, then the brother-in-law takes.
exactly.
I mean, no, if the wife
The-
dies, the sister-in-law takes the brother.
In-law, exactly. There's no issue with that because they're both resting in peace. They're dead and gone. Now Leviticus 18 and 18.
Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 18. I'm sorry, did you want to read 17?
Oh no, go ahead on that. So now let's go to Leviticus 18 and 17.
So Leviticus chapter 18, verse 17. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter, neither shalt thou take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter to uncover her nakedness, for they are her nearest kin's women. It is wickedness.
So there we go. It says, thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter. So we're not having three sons with the mom and the daughter.
That or taking them to a wife together.
Yeah, that or being in a polygamy relationship with both of them. That's a no-go. Because the daughter is the extension of the flesh. Let's go 18 now. Leviticus 18:18.
So it says, neither shalt thou take a wife to her sister to vex her.
So the word vex is basically like to rival her. But go ahead.
Neither shalt thou take a wife to her sister to vex her, to uncover her nakedness besides the other in her lifetime.
So this is dealing with three sons with sisters. Do not take your wife and her sister and have sex or have a threesome, so to speak, or uncover her nakedness in front of her. None of that is good at all.
Yep. That's right.
Leviticus 18 and 19 is key too, because there's a lot of nasty cats running around here doing this. So we'll get some validation on this too. Leviticus 18 and 19.
Also, thou shalt not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness as long as she is put apart for her uncleanness.
No sex during period. When a woman is on her issue, you should not be having sex with her. That is nasty. She is cleansing. She is cleansing.
Right. So sisters that are in the truth, man, they got husbands that's like that. Beware. It's a transgression and a major violation.
And we're gonna give some let's go to Ezekiel 18 and 6.
Ezekiel chapter 18, verse 6.
Go ahead.
And hath not eaten upon the mountain, neither hath lifted up his eyes to the idols of the house of Israel, neither hath defiled his neighbor's wife, neither hath come near to a menstruous woman.
Neither have come near to a menstruous woman. Again, no sex during her period. That is nasty. One more. That's given Leviticus 20 and 18.
Leviticus chapter 20, verse 18. And it says, and if a man shall lie with a woman having her sickness and shall uncover her nakedness, he hath discovered her fountain, and she hath uncovered the fountain of her blood. and both of them shall be cut off from among their people.
So it says, if a man shall lie with the woman having her sickness. So they consider a woman on her period a sickness. Why? Because she is cleansing all of the bad stuff out of her body. So it says, and shall uncover her nakedness, which is lie with her, have sex. He have discovered her fountain. She's flowing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she have uncovered the fountain of her blood, and both of them shall be cut off from among their people. That's how bad this is. You will be cut off from among your people and your nation. So remember that. This is key. There's a lot of cats out there running around doing this. So, you know, if you have a man at home, sisters in the truth, he like running red lights, go on to give these scriptures to him.
Real.
Hey, that's just keeping it real. That's running red lights, red man performing, whatever you want to call it, man. Yes.
You know, lick them up and all that stuff, man. That stuff is it's disgusting in the eyes of the Lord, man. You know, it's real.
Let's go to Leviticus 18 and 20.
Leviticus chapter 18, verse 20. Moreover,
before you read now, this dealing with this, you have a lot of people out there that say, "Oh well, I can have sex with my neighbor's wife. She's not part of my nation," or whatever the case may be, right? They think it's okay to do that, right? Go ahead.
Moreover, thou shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor's wife to defile her thyself, to defile thyself with her.
So I have intercourse with your neighbor. That is to defile yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna defile her. But that goes into what? Committing what? Exactly. So let's go to Deuteronomy 5 and 18 real quick. Yep. Deuteronomy 5 and 18.
Deuteronomy chapter 5 and verse 18. Neither shalt thou commit adultery.
Cut and dry. Right? Neither shalt thou commit adultery. Mm-hmm. So, dealing with your neighbor's wife, you are committing adultery. Mm-hmm. Let's go to Proverbs 2 and 16.
Proverbs chapter 2 and verse 16.
Go ahead.
To deliver thee from the strange woman.
So, you know, the next door neighbor, that wife is a strange woman. She considered strange. You shouldn't know nothing about her, really. Go ahead.
To deliver thee from the strange woman, even from the stranger which flattereth with her words.
That's how it all starts. A friendly conversation. You might be out there, you know, cutting the grass with your little tank top on. She see your muscles. She want to ask you about working out and all that. Go ahead.
Which forsaketh the guide of her youth, and forgetteth the covenant of her God. For her house inclineth unto death, and her paths unto the dead. None that go unto her returneth again, neither take they hold of the path of life.
You know what happened? You got to deal with somebody else's wife. The path of life after that, once you get caught up, oh man. Why? Because you are committing adultery.
Death, man. That's what death comes through that, man.
Death comes through that,
period, man.
Certainly. You could also write down Proverbs 7 and 5 through 22. Let's give a Matthew 5 and 28 real quick. Matthew 5 and 28.
Matthew chapter 5 and verse 28. But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart.
Let me get that one more time. Let me get that one more time.
But I say unto you, that whosoever look on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart.
So if you are looking at your neighbor's wife lustfully, you have already committed adultery with her.
Absolutely.
And that's the neighbor's wife.
Right. Because now, what has to happen after you done fantasized about it?
You want it.
You see what I'm saying?
You're going to go get it.
That's the thing. Absolutely. That's exactly what's going to happen. Now, you done thought about it. Now, all you're going to do is just act upon it at that point. And then, because it's something, man, like, say, for instance, I'll give you the example of Ammon and, of course, Tamar, you know what I'm saying, his sister, right? It said that he was sick in love with her. So just imagine, I'm just using this as an example now. He just imagined his thought pattern, his thought process. It said he was thinking about this woman day after day, you know what I mean? All the way up to the point where he got that wicked counseling advice to where he ended up raping his own sister. You see what I'm saying? So just imagine, man, that's why Christ is laying it down here, man. He's like, look, man, if you even look upon, you know what I'm saying, a woman, you've already lusted after her. You've already committed adultery in your heart. So now all you're going to do is just act upon it at that point. So those are the evils that proceed forth from a man, all right?
Let me give one more. Let's go to Galatians 5:19.
Galatians chapter 5, verse 19.
Go ahead.
Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness.
So that's just, further references of dealing with commit adultery and dealing with the intercourse of your neighbor's wife. You can also write down Romans 13:9 and 2:11. Let's get Leviticus 18:21.
Leviticus chapter 18, verse 21. And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am Yahweh.
So dealing with Molech, let's go to Leviticus 20:1.
Leviticus chapter 20, verse 1.
Go ahead.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, again, thou shalt say to the children of Israel, whoso he be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn in Israel, that giveth any of his seed unto Molech, he shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones. Basically, Molech was pretty much was one of the gods. He was a bull god, right? He was also one of the gods of the Egyptians. And of course, they would literally, give their children, you know what I'm saying, unto this idol, right? And of course, they would, basically toss their children into the fire, man. The children that the Most High gave them, man. They would burn them.
So that's why it's saying, are you done?
Yeah, go ahead.
So that's why it's saying, whosoever he be of the children of Israel, or of the stranger that sojourn in Israel, that giveth any of his seed unto Molech, he shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones.
Absolutely. So there was no mercy, man, when you began to worship, you worshiped another God. The Most High said, nah, man, he ain't gonna tolerate that. Especially if you're giving your children unto these deities, or unto this deity, it's not gonna happen like that. And this is what you would call also spiritual fornication. All right. This is what this is in the law dealing with the aspect of spiritual fornication. All right. So he went through the physical part of it, and now also there's a spiritual aspect of it as well. Okay, real quick, go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 in your apocrypha. And let's get
Wisdom of Solomon
14. And let's start at You can start at verse. You start at verse 8.
Wisdom of Solomon 14:8. But that which is made with hands is cursed.
So that which is made with hands is cursed. So we're talking about these idols, all right? These images of wood, stone, silver, and gold, man, that people, you know what I'm saying, like to carve into images that they worship. Go ahead.
As he that made it.
Mm-hmm.
He because he made it.
Mm-hmm.
And it because being corruptible.
Read again from the top.
But that which is made with hands is cursed, as well it as he that made it.
Right. So the man who made those images, not only is that piece of wood or that gold or silver is cursed, but also the man that made it is cursed as well. Go ahead.
He because he made it, and it because being corruptible, it was called God.
Absolutely. Being corruptible, it was called God. So you see that these people, you know what I'm saying, that were upon the face of this earth now, they call these certain deities that they have God. All right. So, like, say, for instance, you got the little wood statue, a little gold-plated statue of Buddha and all of that, man. That's what they call God. A man carved that with his hands, all right? They made that. They molded that image, okay? And the person who made it is cursed, and the image is cursed as well. Go ahead.
Verse 9, for the ungodly and his ungodliness are both alike hateful unto the Most High.
Why? Because they always, those that hold on to those images, they need something that's physical for them to see, right? So now we already know, man, that the Creator, man, we don't see him, but we see all of the creations and things like that he has made, all right? But because people want something physical to worship, to bow down to, this is where they get these dang images, right? But they says, for the ungodly and his ungodliness are both alike hateful unto the Most High, right? Go ahead.
For that which is made shall be punished together with him that made it.
So the Most High said he's gonna punish that statue, and he's gonna punish, you know what I'm saying, that man. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 11. Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation, because in the creature of the Most High they are become an abomination and a stumbling blocks to the souls of men and a snare to the feet of the unwise.
Absolutely. That's what happened. I see how I see the Lord's image. You know what I'm saying? The false image of our Lord and Savior, Chaarash. This is what happened, man. That's why he said, therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles, there shall there be a visitation, right? So that's why when you see certain statues get destroyed, struck by lightning, blown over by wind, destroyed by earthquakes, all of those, that's the Most High visiting them people, man, and destroying them and their idol. All right, go ahead.
Verse 12, for the division of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them, the corruption of life.
Absolutely. That's what happened, man. A spirit, it says the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication and the invention of them, the corruption of life, right? So again, as you can see, when they offer, you know what I'm saying, they offer, their children unto the idol Molech, that's what basically was, man. All right, spiritual fornication, okay? Read verse 13 real quick.
Verse 13. For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever.
So it says, neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. All right. So of course they're just inventions. That's it, man. Things that were carved by man. That's it. Okay. So that's why when you go back to Molech, man, Molech was supposed to be a bull-shaped god deity that was worshipped not only by the Egyptians but by other, in other various cultures. All right. Some may call it the Baphomet, so on and so forth. All right. So this God, man, is what people worship, and they make tons of images of it. You see, they made an image of it in Oklahoma, right? Wasn't like almost like an 11-foot tall image of it. You know what I'm saying? And you see people worship that. They offer children to that. Utah.
I feel like it's Utah. There's clothing lines that have that.
Look at that.
People just wear it. And it was blatantly say 666 on it.
Absolutely. So all of that stuff, man, is dealing with the aspect of idolatry. All right. So go ahead. That's good.
All right. Let's go to Leviticus 18 and 22. Now this right here, this is clear cut and dry. You have you know what's the little gay community? Yeah, LG. What is it? LGBT and all that. You know.
I thought it was LGBTQ.
What's the Q mean? Let's go. Leviticus 18 and 22.
So it says, "Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is an abomination."
Thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not lie with mankind as with women. So when you get married, you lay with your wife. You lay with that woman. Two men should not be doing that. Two women should not be doing that. No homosexuality at all.
That's a genocide, man.
Just think about it. If everyone was gay, it wouldn't be no more procreation.
Oh.
The world would end. So how do you feel like that's okay? How is that justifiable? You wasn't born like that from birth. Nah, man, that's thought and choice. But they're doing a lot of stuff these days, like dealing with the rubber and the baby bodies and stuff. They're adding stuff in it to like modify the hormones in men to, you know, go up to be more feminine and stuff like that. So Esau they are definitely crafty. They are definitely crafty. So, prime example, the new movie that's popping right now is Moonlight. So this movie is dealing with a brother that struggled with his sexuality, but his first encounter was dealing with his homeboy. Now, as they grow older, his homeboy becomes a gangster. But prior to that, let me back up. Prior to that, they're in the same school, and the dude that his homeboy that he just was doing some homosexuality with, now his homeboy's beating him up because his homeboy's in a gang, and the gang don't know he gay. So now they got him beating up the dude he was just messing with. Now, as these two grow older, they both hardcore now in the gang, and they still doing the same thing. So what is that showing the brothers of our nation that's growing up and watching this movie? It's all brainwashing. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. And that happens all the time in jail. You have men that say, "Oh well, I just got hit, so I'm not gay. That person's gay." What do you mean?
You gay.
You just that don't make no. You just laid with a woman. I mean, you just laid with a man like you would do a woman. You see what I'm saying? And they feel like it's okay.
Reach man, you a prime example of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you got a wife, you lay with another man, your behind is gay. You understand? Point blank, period. You gay. All right. They call it bisexual and all that, or trisexual, tricurious. No, you gay. That's it. It ain't nothing else to it, man. You gay.
Let's go Leviticus 18 and 23.
Leviticus chapter 18, verse 23. Neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto. It is confusion.
So you see all these videos of the Edomites giving head to the horses and all that, or the men. A cop just got caught he video recorded having sex with his dog or something. Somewhere in the South or something. He just got caught doing that. Like, all this is against the laws and statutes and commandments of the Most High, and it is confusion and disgusting.
They passed a law in Washington. It's okay to do that.
Oh yeah, believe it or not, it's a lot of states that okay that. There is no law against that. For sure, exactly.
Pandora's box will now be open.
Let's go to Leviticus 18 and 24.
Defile not ye yourselves in any of these things, for in all these the nations are defiled, which I cast out before you.
So we know that sins are defiling, right? It's defiling your body, it's defiling your temple and everything, right? You can write this down. Actually, let's time. It's 6:08.
I just wanted to mention something real quick though, man, because it's a trip. Like, say for instance, they have articles, man, that they talk about how the United States military, actually accepts, what I'm saying, bestiality. You know what I'm saying, where these soldiers, man, supposed to be some of the toughest in the world, can now sleep with animals, right? Which is pure just sickness. And then also, like, say for instance, I don't know if y'all ever seen like they have like certain movies, man, I forget what they call, but they got certain movies where they got humans marrying dogs.
Oh yeah.
And stuff like that, and then they mix in and stuff. It's sickness. They promote it on the television and all that stuff. Look at Family Guy, right? Brian is a dog, but he can have sex with all of these human women. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Ted. You see what I'm saying? A damn stuffed bear getting a woman pregnant. Come on.
What was that? What was that show when the dude they forced the president to have sex with the pig?
Black Mirror.
So it's a TV show called Black Mirror. And the first episode, her was kidnapped, and in order for him to get her back, he had to have sex with a pig. And guess what? Everybody tuned in to watch it live on TV. Look how nasty the world is. And they showed the streets was empty, desolate. Nobody out there, everybody watching TV.
Yeah, and then 30 minutes before he actually performed the act,
She was
they
already
released the daughter.
Exactly.
So he didn't even have to do it, but because the entire nation, the whole world was watching on television, they didn't even see that she was in the middle of the street, knocked out. So he didn't even have to do it. They let her go 30 minutes before he actually did it.
Oh.
And that was just to show how messed up. Well, yeah, like that was one of the demands for him to perform it live, and it would be interrupted all television stations so that everybody could see it.
Sure. Was he white?
You know he was.
Yeah. No, it's on Netflix.
You know he was.
I think it's called Black
Like,
Mirror. I want to say it's like, no.
no, that's just the show.
That's just the name of the show. It's all the episodes are different. They don't tie into each other.
But it all deals with what's going on today in
Real life
society.
situations and what is
Let me break down
No, go ahead, bro.
let's go to Romans 1:24. This is just basically dealing with the sins of defiling, dealing with Leviticus 18 and 24.
Romans 1:24.
Yeah, we'll start there. Romans 1:24.
Romans chapter 1, verse 24. Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves.
So that is lust in the heart and disrespect to their bodies. Go ahead.
Who changed the truth of God into a lie.
So, excuse me. So changing the truth of the Most High to falsehood. Go ahead.
And worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever.
So here we go. The Most High gave them over to degrading passions, like woman on woman and stuff like that. He gave them over to that because he knew what was going on with them. Go ahead.
For this cause God gave them up to vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
So there it is, women lying with women. Go ahead.
And likewise also the men leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one towards another.
Burned in the lust for one another. Man, oh man. Go ahead.
Men with men working that which is unseemingly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet.
Go ahead.
And even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, the Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind, to do those things which are not convenient.
So the Most High they didn't think it was worthwhile to possess the knowledge, so he gave them over to a worthless mind to do perversive things. See what I'm saying?
That's why you see the nations are so messed up now, man. You know what I'm saying? That's that reprobate mind that it's talking about. You know, that's the mindset that they can't get out of. You know what I mean? And that's why it's dangerous, man. Even with Israelites, you know, those who come in, man, and start dabbling back out there, it's such a dangerous thing. Because the Most High say, well, you want to deal with that stuff, then go ahead, man. He'll give you over to a reprobate mind. You know, so you know, then you start doing things, man, that you weren't doing even at first before you first came in. You know, so those evil spirits, man, that you know what I'm saying, that you know you allow within yourself, man. Yep, absolutely. Worse than the spirits that you had before. You had one, now you got 1,000. All right. So now just imagine, man, you know what I'm saying, the nations when they retain not the knowledge of God, Shem, Ham, and you know, Japheth, and you know, their descendants and their children, man, and the ones that began to give up the knowledge of the Most High, how he gave them over to, you know, the idolatry and you know what I'm saying, the lust of the flesh. That's why you see how Nimrod came about through incest. You see that when Cush was killed, his wife Semiramis wanted to maintain power, then she married, you know what I'm saying, her own son, man, and bear a child by him too. So that's how sick that's how sick it got, man, because they retained not the knowledge of the Most High in their mind. It's crazy, man.
Let's go to let's jump to Deuteronomy 23 and 17.
Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 17.
So we know these are dealing with laws as well. Go ahead.
There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel.
There shall be no whores of the daughters of Israel. So all that, you know, you having a debate about polygamy, so to speak, and the woman is saying, well, if that's the case, I can have multiple men. No.
No.
There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel. Go ahead.
Nor sodomite of the sons of Israel.
Nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. Does anybody know what sodomite means? Let's give you this definition of sodomite. Sodomite in the ordinance is H6945. It is a male temple prostitute, which is considered a dog. That's what sodomite means. And that's H6945. Right. Male temple or male coat prostitute, which is considered as a dog.
Right. I back that up too. What was the one that you gave? 6'9"?
H6945.
Yeah. Well, mine says this here. It's gonna say the same thing. It says, "Quaish, sacred person, an example, technically a male devotee by prostitution to litigious idolatry, sodomite, unclean." So you're dealing with somebody that was heavily unclean. All right. You let all the men go up in your butt, and then you worship a strange God. So it's showing you like the like literally the sexual rituals that came along with it. You see what I'm saying? They came along with sodomy. All right, it's crazy.
Let's go to Leviticus 18 and have to make sure something.
No, go ahead, bro. You're good. So yeah, it's a trip.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. You can give it 25.
Leviticus?
Yeah, Leviticus 18 and 25.
All right, cool.
Actually, hold on one second. So we know that if someone doesn't know these laws, that they can those who committed these sins, not knowing the laws, can repent and forsake that lifestyle, correct? Mm-hmm. So let's go to Matthew 12 and 31 real quick.
Okay. Matthew chapter 12, verse 31.
Go ahead.
Wherefore I say unto you, all manner of sin and blasphemy shall be forgiven unto men.
So once you forsake and repent, it says, all manner of sin and blasphemy shall be forgiven unto men. But go ahead.
But the blasphemy against the Holy Ghost shall not be forgiven unto men.
So you got that one chance. Once you get into this knowledge, ain't no turning back. Ain't no messing up. Ain't no second chance.
That's why it says, he says, the blasphemy against the Holy Ghost shall not be forgiven unto men, where it's talking about how you reject the knowledge. You see what I'm saying? When you just blatantly say, you know what, I don't want this anymore, this is not for me, you know, that means you blaspheme the Holy Spirit, man. You see what I'm saying? As you blasphemy, that's your blasphemy against the Holy Ghost. Right?
And one more to back that up. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 6:9.
Hold on, I want you to 32. 32. He said, and whosoever speaketh a word against the Son of Man, it shall be forgiven him. But whosoever speaketh against the Holy Ghost, it shall be not forgiven him, neither in this world, neither in the world to come. So there's no forgiveness for you blaspheming against the Holy Spirit. There's no forgiveness in this world or the world to come. That's why he said, you pretty much done at that point. That's it. No, you good. I got you. It's a trip.
Let's get on 1 Corinthians 6:9.
All right. 1 Corinthians 6:9.
Okay.
1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 9. And it says, know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God?
So we know the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God. So
be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminates, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revelers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of God.
None of these shall inherit the kingdom of God. Go ahead, verse 11.
And such were some of you.
And such were some of us. We've been through this before. We have been one of these things, maybe two. Go ahead.
But ye are washed.
But we are washed when we get into this too. We repent and forsake, and we start fresh. Go ahead.
But ye are sanctified, but ye are justified in the name of the Lord Yahushua, and by the Spirit of our power.
There it is right there. Start fresh. No backslide. Now, dealing with Leviticus 18 and 24 through 30, we can just put consequences. Leviticus 18, 24 through 30. These are considered the consequences.
Mm.
You can run through it real quick.
Leviticus.
Yeah, after this we're gonna be done. You can run through it.
26.
You can do
19, 26 through 30.
Yeah, you can do 26 to 30. All
right. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations.
So we shall keep the judgments, the statutes, and the judgment, and shall not commit any of these abominations. Go ahead.
Neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourneth among you.
So whoever dwelling amongst us, they got to keep these same statutes. Ain't no cuts for them. They are a reflection of us if they dwelling with us.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
For all these abominations have the men of the land done, which were before you, and the land is defiled, that the land spew not you out also, when ye defile it, as it spew out the nations that were before you. For whoso shall commit any of these abominations, even the soul that committed them shall be cut off from among their people. Therefore shall ye keep my ordinance, that ye commit not any one of these abominable customs which were committed before you, and that ye defile not yourselves therein. I am Yahweh, your power.
There it is. I am again. So understand it said, dealing with the consequences, basically dealing with like we have STDs and sicknesses that people are dying off and everything, right? So it stated that it says in 28 it says that the land spew not you out also. So dealing with that, the sickness is making the society sick and the nation sick. So even the land itself becomes sick and must vomit out its filth. The way that we vomit out poison is filth. So the land will do the same thing because we know the land is a living entity, right? So it's going to spit out the sickness. So, and even though the Most High has made, even though he did not make any covenants with the other nations, he still held them accountable for their filthy deeds against nature. So that's dealing with all that. So when you're dealing with, I got a definition: sexual perversion. Sexual perversion. Sexual perversion is a condition in which sexual excitement or orgasms is associated with acts or imagery that are considered unusual within culture. That is a sexual perversion. So there's a million and one things we can think of that are unusual within our culture that people do. So dealing with the nation being sick in society, we could throw out any disease, HIV, gonorrhea, syphilis, herpes. I forget what's the one dealing with, it's LGB or something like that. I don't know what it's called. Yeah, they have diseases, but that's because they are doing these abominable things. So that means that the nation, we got to kick it out. You can write down Romans 1, 18 through 32. That gives a little more information dealing with all the negative stuff. So basically, we know that if the Most High dealt with the Gentile nations, which he never gave a law, imagine how we are held accountable and we know the law. So if he held them accountable for being the filthiness, imagine how he held us accountable for everything. But as we know that, our forefathers did disobey the Most High, defiled the land, and we were vomited out into captivity. Plain and simple. We were vomited out of our nation because we did so many abominable things and went against the statute, laws, and commandments of the Most High. So here we are today. And guess what's going on today? Same thing that happened. The same thing that happened in Sodom and Gomorrah, Egypt, all that. It's going on here today. Let me see if I can find it. I can't find it. But it was basically, I wish I could find it. It was a picture that stated homosexuality happened in Sodom and Gomorrah, it happened in Egypt. So what do you think is going to happen in America? Same thing.
All three of those civilizations, man,
Destroyed.
desolate. They're not here no more. Never will they come back.
So what do you think is going to happen right here? Because why are we not following the statute, laws, and commandments? You know what I'm saying? And that's just the breakdown dealing with the unlawful sexual relations.
The Most High said, man, the stench of this place and reached unto the heavens. You already know it's bad. That's why, the same thing happened with Sodom and Gomorrah, right? The stench of that place, the wickedness, the sin, the evil of that very place, man. That the wickedness reached to the Most High. He's like, man, enough is enough. I'm gonna destroy this place. But first, I gotta deliver one of my righteous. I gotta deliver Lot out of there. You see what I'm saying? And of course, another prime example of a nation that came through fornication or incest, according to Leviticus chapter 18, is the Moabites and the Ammonites, right? You know what I mean? So that's why, I'm talking about Lot says that he got drunk, he laid with his daughters. And it said he perceived not when they came in and when they left. You know what I mean? So that's even sick in itself, man. So you can kind of pretty much guess, man, that this Jake understood the act that he was committing. And he had to drown himself in alcohol and liquor, in order to perform the act in which he was doing. So
I got two more little things for you guys. The sanctity of sex. Has anybody heard the word sanctity? Sanctity of sex. The definition for sanctity is the state or quality of being holy, sacred, or saintly. So that is the sanctity of sex. The state or quality of being holy, sacred, or saintly. So obviously we know that society is saturated with sex. That is not the sanctity of sex. Why? Because it promotes and endorses all kinds of kinky stuff, women on women, and all types of other stuff. That's for entertainment. Go ahead. Like anal. You see, there's an anal disease, and that disease stems from anal only. You see what I'm saying? That's a whole bunch of kinky. Me personally, I don't see why any man would want to go back door like that. I mean, yeah, it's true, but that's just dealing with. Oh, so let's deal with this. Moral absolutes. Moral absolutes don't they don't exist dealing with society, and that basically is an ethical view that particular actions are right or wrong. So dealing with a lot of stuff in society that we see, some people don't think they don't care if it's right or wrong. They're gonna do it anyway. But they encourage abortions as a means of birth control, but that's just dealing with wilding out, sleeping here and there, and all that. Because if you follow the statute, laws, and commandments, you will be married and then you will have children. Yeah, I mean, I messed up with that. I got 5 children. My children are a blessing, but had I known what I know now, it would be a different ballgame. I wouldn't have children with multiple women. You know what I'm saying? So that's why our people have to get back to these statute, laws, and commandments. It is for our salvation.
That's real, man. So a lot of things, man, that we wouldn't have done if we understood the true righteousness, man.
A lot.
That's real. But nonetheless.
But now we are into this truth, and what will we be able to do? Raise our children up right, and they'll raise their children up right, and so on and so forth. So from generation to generation, over the time, we will become better within this nation.
So it's supposed to be stronger, not weaker.
Exactly.
So remember, we were weaker, and our children that are raised in it, they become stronger. Until, man, it's just a complete to where ain't nobody mess with them. You know what I mean? We our people are once again, becoming the scientists and engineers and the warriors, the mathematicians, you know what I'm saying, that they once were. Not saying that we don't have any now, but we don't have any righteousness. And to the magnitude of, you know what I'm saying, where you have you had families that was known for wisdom, and laying down, what I'm saying, the verbiage of the scriptures, man, like it was nothing. So, I mean, we're trying to get back there, most
it's
high.
It's gonna take some time. Yeah. It's gonna take some time. We might not be here, but we are setting the foundation for a better nation in the future.
That's all you say. That's what I would say. Most high willing. All right.
Any questions on the lesson today? Pretty simple.
That's the law, man. That's why we're gonna get back to teaching that law, man. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, I'm noticing that a lot of, like, even dealing with, well, we'll get into that later, but it's just a lot of confusion dealing with the scripture. But like I said, a lot of people are using their feelings when dealing with this. So that's why you have the LG, whatever you guys said, they would disregard the Bible. But then you have somebody like Joel Osteen saying that, oh, being gay is okay according to the scriptures.
That scripture, Jonathan loved David more than a woman.
I mean, I love my dad more than, you know what I'm saying? That don't mean I'm gay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you have a brother, you will love your brother more than you will love the average chick out there on the streets. You see what I'm saying? So that's just it. That's what they use. Yeah.
Well, Jonathan loved David more than,
Yeah. I mean, we had a little issue with a dude on the page, you know, talking reckless about, you know.
That's what I said. You just what you did. You just removed the judgment. That's it. To make it reasonable for yourself to believe that the Most High loves
Everyone.
two homosexual men that are penetrating each other in their rectum. You know what I mean? Sickening. You know. So that's why that's what they do, man. The Queen James Bible and all of that stuff, man. They make that type of stuff
Wait,
to
did you say the
justify.
Queen James?
Yeah, they have a Bible called the Queen James Bible.
Yo,
So it's
like I
their
said,
translation.
man, there's a lot of craftiness going on out here.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to definitely, without foundation, you cannot build a house.
Mm-hmm.
The law, statutes, and commandments is the foundation to help you build your house.
I'll be like, you could tell anyone who show me how you and your husband, your quote unquote husband, will reproduce according to this book. How will you reproduce? Man and a man. How?
That's not
No,
reproduction.
we talk about we talking about the all natural way. When y'all have sexual relations, who gonna get pregnant? Doing it the right way according to this book. Real.
Well, we want to thank you guys for tuning in on Closing Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
I am Brother Yakor. This is Chaarash, the elder, Sons of Isaac Israelite congregation. I want to say thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, feel free to email us.
You can email us at houseofisaac144@gmail.com. All right. You can also go to our website, sonsofisaac.org. Sons of Isaac 144.org, and you can also send us a message on there as well. All right. So definitely, check us out, man, and we're putting up more content. We continue to come with more content, and of course, with that, we will say shalom to the nation of Israel, so for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Yasharala. Shalom all.
Shalom.
Enjoy the rest of y'all night.